Quick question. What if your PLC was not sitting inside a control cabinet, but running as software on the edge device? Deployable in minutes, scalable, and centrally managed. No rack, no vendor lock-in, just control logic, where it actually makes sense. Welcome to this video. My name is Rajvir, founder of Code and Compile. And today I will show you how I onboard an edge device and run a virtual PLC on it, step by step. So stay tuned. I will show you all the steps. You can also follow along with this video. Today edge devices are everywhere, having powerful CPUs with Linux operating system, which are easy to fit in any network. But most of the time, they are still missing one thing, a real PLC brain. Today, virtual PLCs closes that gap. There's so many virtual PLC tools in the market, but today I will explore Autonomy Edge, which is an open source platform that offers cloud-native PLC programming and orchestration. It is basically a complete rewire or rewrite of OpenPLC with modern tools and interface. It allows you to store PLC projects securely in the cloud, let you collaborate with your team without sharing your project by USB sticks or email attachment. And then you can deploy those projects directly on the Linux device. You can program them from your browser and manage all your devices and projects using just a single dashboard. So just to be clear, this is not about promoting one company or one vendor. You know that I work with different companies and different platforms. I've worked with different virtual PLC tools as well. And my goal here is quite simple: to explore what is possible, to explore what is available, and show you these tools that actually behave in real life. So today I will focus mainly on OpenPLC, which I said is like Autonomy Edge. It's a rewire of OpenPLC running on the edge device. And the edge device that I'm using is Recomputer from Seed Studio. Okay, so in this live demo, you will learn how to deploy a virtual PLC from OpenPLC into your edge device. Okay, you can try that on any of your edge devices if you have right now, which supports Linux. So what you are gonna see here is that how PLC logic doesn't care anymore where does it run. Okay, we're gonna talk mostly about virtual PLC. So let's begin our live demo. So the following are the steps that I'm going to follow. Step number one is signing up to Autonomy Edge. So you can sign up for free. You don't have to pay at the moment. Maybe it's paid in the future, I don't know. But right now it's free. Just sign up to that. I'll show you that shortly. And then you create an orchestration workspace. Okay. In this workspace, you can add multiple virtual PLCs that you can manage, and then you can visualize it as well. I'll show you shortly. And then after that, I'm going to onboard an edge device. Okay, so I'm going to onboard a virtual PLC on the edge device. In this case, I'm using Recomputer that I told you before. And then I will deploy an OpenPLC, which is a virtual PLC, as a virtual PLC on this edge device. And finally, I will show you a live demo of a simulated factory environment that I created for you on SIMUMATIK, and I'm going to connect that by OPC UA. So this virtual PLC has an interface. It has Siemens interface, Modbus interface, and OPC UA interface. So I'm going to use OPC UA in the end. All right. So if you're ready, let's jump in. I'm going to open my browser. So you have to open autonomylogic.com. Once you open that, you can just go click on sign in, and you can create your account. I already created my account, so you can go to sign up and create an account. I already have it, so I will log in with my Google account. There you go. Now I am inside the account. Okay, so this is like a browser-based platform. You don't have to install anything. You don't have to download anything. Okay, so the first thing is I will create an orchestration. Okay, so you can click on Manage Orchestrator, and there you can add a new orchestrator. Okay, so let's click on Add, and there you can see you can just put a name. So I will just put, because my edge device is Recomputer, so I'm just going to put Recomputer as my name. Description, if you want, you can add that. Click on Next, and it will tell you copy this command and paste it in your Linux device. And that's it. That's the magic. Okay, so in this case, I'm going to open PuTTY because this is going to help me log into my edge device. So the IP address of my edge device is 192.168.0.195. So this is up and running on my table. So I just need to connect to that. Click on Open. I will log into this device with ID and password. So now I'm inside. I just have to copy this command, which I already did, paste here, press enter. There you go. Now it will automatically run several commands which are stored in a file in the backend. Okay, so it's going to download some Docker images, and then it's going to run some containers. So I think process is complete. So fast. So I just need to now copy this orchestration ID and go to the next step and paste here and click create orchestrator. There you go. Done. We are done. Okay, you can see that orchestrator is created successfully. The status is inactive. Just refresh the window and you will see status is active now. All right, so fast it is. So I already have my orchestrator running, and you can see it tells you your CPU usage, tells you the memory and the uptime. And if you click on that, you can see some graphs here. All right, perfect. Now the next step is we have to create an OpenPLC and deploy that. So right now, there is no OpenPLC runtime deployed. It's just an orchestrator. So we go to the devices and click on add device. And there you define your virtual PLC, okay? So I'll just put a name, vPLC1. Okay, this is my first virtual PLC. The runtime, you can select the latest one. This is already there, public. And click on the virtual NICs. And there you can see, you can define the virtual interface name. So this is a virtual interface, not a real interface, but it will be linked to the physical port. So I will tell you what happens when I create that. So you just select DHCP if you want, or you can also go to the static IP based on how you want to configure your networks. But in my network, I'm fine with DHCP. So MAC address, I will keep automatic and click on create. Now it is going to create a virtual PLC. And this is going to be deployed. It happens so fast. It's already done. So if you click on device, you can see this is your virtual PLC device running on your edge device. That was so fast. And here you can see the status. It has a DHCP network mode. Gateway is not defined. Container is running. Now you see that container is running. So if you go inside the PuTTY again, I'll just clear this one and just put Docker PS because Docker is installed in my edge device. Click on enter. You can see there are some containers which are running. Okay, so you have to make sure these containers are running, and you can see OpenPLC runtime is there. An orchestrator agent is there, autonomy network, net1 containers there. So we have 3 containers running. And if you go down, this is very important, you will find the IP address. This is the virtual IP address. That is for your virtual PLC. You have to remember that. And if you want, you can also check if you can ping this device because it's in my local network. Let's do that. There you can see that I can ping on this device. So this is active and it's running. Okay. Now we come back, click on this Autonomy Edge here. Now we create a simple project. And then I will show you my simulated project with the simulation factory. So let's click on create a new project. Project name, I will put virtual PLC 1. You can give any name that you want. You can define where this project should be located. Is it in the root folder? Or you can create a new folder that I actually created before, not a big deal, and select that folder, click on next. Configuration, which means what programming languages you want to select. So you can have functional block diagram, letter diagram, structure text, and instruction list. Super easy. So I keep it simple. I make it functional block diagram. Cycle time you can define here. This is 20 milliseconds, and you can define your cycle time. So I'll keep it as default, 20 milliseconds. Click on next. And now if you want, you can put a cover image. This is just to make it visually appealing. And you can make it public or private. If you make it public, others can also access to your projects. If you like to share your project, you can make it public. I keep it private as default and click on Create Project. Now you can see on my left side, this is my project, my recent projects. This is my orchestrator, which I just created. And these are the public projects. You can scroll and you can visualize what others are doing. And there is some organization feature, which I have not explored yet, but looks like you can make an organization and you can bring some projects together. Okay, so I will open my project, Virtual PLC 1. There you go. And right now you can see this is the dark mode. You can also change that to white mode, which I like more. So now you have your browser, and here you can see you have this main logic window. On the left side, you can see the tree where you can see functions, function block, main program, which is open right now. It is blank. And you can see your orchestrator, and you can add some servers. I will show you shortly. And on the left side on the bottom, you can see some functional blocks for FPD because I selected FPD. Okay, so in this case, let's create a sample project. Here I can declare my variable. I can declare my variable using this wizard. I can click on plus, and let's say I put here x input a, and this class is it's a local variable. I will define it as a Boolean. This is one way to declare a variable. Or you can go and click on this icon here, and you can declare it also like this. So this allows you to easily copy, paste, and share your variables as well. Now, if I go back to wizard, you can see my another variable is here. Okay, and now I also need another variable. This is just a demo logic. I will just create output a. So now I have 3 variables. Okay. So now what I want to do is I want to make a simple AND gate logic. I will just bring 2 inputs, connect that to an AND gate, and see if I get the output. Super easy. So here I can search in the library, or I can also just open my bitwise logic. I can drag an AND. This is one way to do it. Or you can click on search, press enter, or it will come automatically, AND gate. Anyways, so now I need to connect variables here. How to do that? So on the left side, you will see you have a possibility to add a block. I don't need a block right now. I need an input variable. Just bring that here. And you can just type X, and it will automatically pop up the variables that you define. And then you can just drag and drop. Let me just zoom it a bit. And just connect this. Super easy. So your input is connected. Just make it bigger. What you can also do is you can copy paste that. And then you can just change the name to B, and then you have second input. And similarly, you can connect that here. Let's open a console a bit. Where is the console gone? Let's rearrange this. Okay. Okay, perhaps it will come when I compile. All right, let's have an output. This is an output, and I can just take output A, connect that here. Now you can see that my logic is complete. Simple 2 inputs and 1 outputs. And now if I compile, I should be able to see some status. There you go. Now you can see the status and the compile. Whatever is happening, you can see here. Okay. So compilation is done. Now, if I want, I can download that to my PLC that I just created, virtual PLC. So for that, I have to click on Orchestrator first. So I need to connect to this PLC first. Click on that, and you can see that the status is running. Click on that again. And now, because it's for the first time I'm connecting to this virtual PLC, I need to create a user. So I'll just create a user. Create user. So user is created, and you can see that status is empty. So I just logged in as of now. Now I'm going to download that. So in this case, I click on this compile again, and this is going to download that into my virtual PLC. And you can see the status here, uploading, monitoring, done. So this is done. You can see some scan time here, scan count, scan time, 2 microseconds. And these are the PLC logs. Okay. So right now, if you see in my PLC, I have local variables. I actually cannot access this variable from my browser. So what I need to do is, interesting part is you can make your OpenPLC as an OPC UA server. Okay. So this PLC runtime offers an OPC UA server. So in this case, I'm going to go to the plus, and I go to this server. I put a server name. I will just put OpenPLC protocol. So I can use Modbus TCP, I can use Siemens S7 or OPC UA. I will keep OPC UA. Click on create. Server is created. Just enable that. And you can see that you have server name by default, OpenPLC OPC UA US server. And network interface, I keep it to all interface. Port number is by default, endpoint is defined, everything is defined here. This is a cycle time, 100 milliseconds to update the variables. And in the security profile, if you see it's right now insecure, I'll keep it insecure. And it's by default selected as anonymous logged in. I keep it like it is. You can for sure have a more security. If you see here, you can select the security policy, basics 128, 15, basic 256. But I keep it for this demo, no security. You can also add users here, where you can define the user should only be able to read it or read-write it. These kind of things you can do. You can also define certifications here. It automatically generate. If you want, you can have a custom certificate, and then you can also add trusted certificate from the client. Now, in address space, you don't have to type any code. Just select the variables and define what is viewer allowed to do. So right now it's read only. I will make it read write just for the demo. add to the workspace. So now this variable is connected to my OPC UA server. Similarly, I do for the other variables. There you go. There you go. So all three variables are here. Now let's just save the project and download that. So for downloading, make sure you are connected. I am already connected to my virtual PLC. Now it will download. It's done. And if you see on the PLC log, it's running. And we should be able to see the OPC UA. Here you can see it's already running and started. So now to verify that, to verify our logic, although I can't do monitoring here directly on the browser, that's why I connected my program to OPC UA server, I will open UA Expert. And let's bring that window here. So now you have to remember, I was pinging this device, which was over here. This was the IP address that I got from the virtual PLC. I have to connect to this IP address, not the IP address of your edge device. This is the virtual IP address of your virtual PLC. So I will connect to this one. Let's see if it works. So let's take a new server, 25, and port address 4840. There you go. Oh, there you go. I can connect. Perfect. Works like super smooth. Trust the certificate. Continue. There you go. Now you have my variables. For some reason, it's showing very small. Let me just bring the window back again. Okay, now it's fine. So you have input A. I can drag it here. Input B and output A. So now it was my AND gate, so I can just make it true here. This is true, true here, and output is true because it's an AND gate, right? So my logic is working fine. Super easy. Within a fraction of minutes, we are able to deploy a virtual PLC on the edge device. We're able to program it. We're able to, troubleshoot it as well, add an OPC UA server, and then test it as well. So this was a very basic example how you can set up and run your virtual PLC on your edge device. You can try that on Windows PLC, Linux PLC, MacBook, wherever you like. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is I've already created a project. I'm going to show you how you can run a project which you already created. It's super easy. So if you go, let me just save this project now. Now, because I already have created a project, it is up and running. This is my SIMUMATIK palette. And I will download this project, show you what is happening, and then I'll explain you what is happening in the project. Okay, so in this case, I go to my orchestrator, select my PLC, connect, recomputer, click on login, and I'm going to download that. Okay, so this is going to download some palette picking system PLC program into my edge device, and this is already connected with the OPC UA server. So OPC UA server is up and running. So if I see, you can see the server is running. Now I'm going to open my SIMUMATIK. You can use any tools. So right now I'm just using a demo. I'm just showing you how you can connect this virtual PLC to a simulated factory. You can also connect that to a real factory. So in my next video, which you will see maybe next few weeks, I'm going to connect some remote IOs. There I'm going to read the real data, process that information into my PLC logic, and send the results out. All right, so now my workspace should be up and running. There you go. So I have already created a project that has some IOs, that has a PLC, I have some sensors, and I have some push buttons and some actuators. So I'm just going to load that project. Because I'm running so many softwares, my system is a little bit slow at the moment, but it should be working fine. So this I will maybe open up in half of the window. So let's reconnect to this OPC UA. Now you can see that you have different variables. Just remove that here. I will just bring that window back again. So you have input 01, output 01, and a feedback. Okay, these are three variables. So we can just put it here. Now I will connect my gateway. Gateway is just the way to connect to external networks. And I just need to set up the IP address into my PLC. So here, if you go, I have control. I have a virtual PLC. So here the IP address was 25. Rest will remain the same. And I click on play. So the moment I hit on play, you can see there are some values coming in the PLC. Okay. So what is happening here? Super easy. I just press on this button, and this will bring my palette up. So there's a PLC logic running inside which controls the actuation. And when I press the other button, it brings it down. Super easy. And there are some sensors which is telling me if it is completely up or down. So these indicators are basically the signal that it's completely down. So when I bring it up again, if it's not up, it's not on. When it's fully up, my sensor gives a signal, and this indicator is showing that it's up. And one more thing you can also notice, I have a feedback coming in my virtual PLC, analog input, 32767. This is basically 10-volt signal. So what I'm showing you right now is just a demo of how you can interface your virtual PLC with simulated factory or the real factory. Now let's see what is happening in the PLC. It's actually doing the same thing which I was doing before. So if you see, this is my main logic, where I have some function blocks for AND gate and just a little bit assignments. And I've created 2 function blocks for reading the input and writing the output. So because my SIMUMATIK is not sending Boolean signals, it is sending me an integer. Okay, so I have to decode that integer using some masking that I did in structure text. So this is my structure text program to mask my input and create some Boolean signals. And these Boolean signals, then here you can see I get some Boolean signals that I can use to assign to some inputs, some local variables. And these local variables is basically just simple fundamental AND gate logics to give some outputs. And those outputs are again Boolean signals that I again coded that back to an integer signal going back to the SIMUMATIK. So basically just masking of inputs and outputs is happening here. And if you see, I have my OPC UA server, which is same like before, and I'm not using any security, no users, and here we have address space for inputs, outputs, and feedback. And there you can see 3 variables. And then these 3 variables, I will just read in UA Expert, where I can find the node ID, which makes my work pretty easy. So these are the node ID that I have here, and these node IDs I just put in my SIMUMATIK. So this is just the way to interface OPC UA client and OPC UA server. Okay, so if you know about OPC UA, you know these things. So this was about a small demo where we were visualizing a simulated factory controlled using a virtual PLC running in the edge device. Fraction of a minute, we are able to do this whole workflow. All right. So in the next video, I will take it a bit further. All right. I will connect this virtual PLC to a real data and remote IOs. I will also share the logic and step-by-step so that you can replicate everything yourself. And if you're curious about virtual PLCs, edge control, or modern automation architecture, you can just follow along and subscribe and let me know what you want to see next. And if you want to learn more about OpenPLC and Autonomy Edge, you can visit the website autonomylogic.com. All right, I'll see you soon in the next video. Stay tuned. Bye-bye.